I'm Damien from the Breaks.
I'm Nikkoli from the Breaks.
And we are here in Van Nuys, California with glamgeekle.com. So Breaks started off as it was kind of a studio project. It was something that I'd worked on off and on for a few years. And then after moving to LA in 2018, I kind of figured it'd be time to get back on stage. So after, the pandemic hit and all that. So pretty much after that, I started playing with the drummer. We added a bass player, played out for about a year, had a couple member changes, and now we are a 4-piece. Playing shows, recording, all that.
I've been out in LA for about 4 years now, and the Breaks were looking for a bass player on the interwebs. So I answered an ad and ended up joining up with them. Met at the famous Rainbow Lounge in West Hollywood, hung out there and partied and realized we could be good friends, and everything worked out really well. So we started playing together and recorded some music, and now playing shows and full into it for about 4 months now.
Going on six.
Yeah. Time flies.
Breaks, it was kind of hatched a while ago, but, I've been making the same style of music for almost 2 decades. I like indie rock, I like post-punk, I like that early 2000s rock and roll, which is, it really hasn't dated crazily enough. After 20 years, it's still relevant and bands still sound the same. So, it's indie rock, I guess. It's the best way to put it. So it was just, let's start a recording project, get some songs done, and then add some players to the mix and, take those demos and make them better and get in the studio as much as possible and take the songs to the stage. Yeah, so we haven't shot a video in about a year. I'm not sure why. I feel like the video game is maybe changing a little bit right now from, your typical, 5 years ago is you put something up on Facebook or YouTube and you get a lot of engagement. But I think everybody's trying to switch to short form more so for videos. So we've been wanting to shoot something, but we're just kind of trying to figure out what we want to do next. But more likely than not, we'll probably just do a typical video and then maybe try to take some clips out of it. It kind of starts with picking the right song. We have a new EP coming out soon. We're not sure when, next couple months. And we have a song in mind I think that we'll shoot the video for. But, it's like our music's kind of diverse. And, we got some tough songs and then we've got some songs that are, softer. So you kind of pigeonhole yourself no matter what you put out. So if we put out a heavier song, people are going to expect that for the rest of the record. So it's just a matter of picking the right song. So we're going in the studio this week to record a song. I think we all like it, and more likely than not, we'll probably shoot a video for that song. It's called Man City.
Absolutely.
It's about a soccer team.
The next video of Man City, which is about the football team or soccer team in England, is kind of it's more of definitely like a post-punk kind of sound. It's definitely got a lot of good rhythms and heavy beats and kind of stuff like that. So it's more of a crowd-pleasing kind of thing. So I feel like more of that theme will be kind of a crowd anthem sort of situation. We're really hoping to bring it to the people of England. Well, the biggest challenges, I think, especially in a town like LA or in a bigger market like this, is just, a lot of the areas it's pay to play, so some of that comes into way. The bigger clubs, it's kind of changed over the years, and it's kind of more of the standard than it is the new rule. So a lot of that is part of, finding groups to play with, finding the right bill to get on, finding the right promoter, all that stuff. Many cities have those kind of problems, but I feel like LA has its own specific, tendencies and problems that you have to kind of overcome. But it's been a lot of fun. I feel like the people of LA appreciate music more than other markets that I've been in, and, playing with other bands and stuff. We've got good songs, so it seems like it's working out for us for the most part.
Yeah, Nikkoli has his own band, so he's got a country. What would you call it, Nikkoli?
It's like honky-tonk country, old classic country kind of band.
Classic country band. Our drummer Eddie plays another band. I produce and stuff, so I'm trying to work with a couple new artists. One's a hip-hop cat, one's another girl who I think has a really good voice, and so we're trying to branch out and just expand our network and work with other people. So no, it's I think it when I used to write a song, it used to be that you would sort of start with the music first and then fill out the lyric. But anymore, I usually don't attack something unless I've got that lyrical hook. So that's one way. There's a dozen different ways to write a song, but that's one way to do it. Another way is sort of just opening Pro Tools and finding a beat that you think would fit in the set well, and then just laying 12 tracks over it, and then just finding those sweet spots. So lyrically speaking, to answer your question, it's like on our first record we had a song about an underachiever, a woman who's an underachiever, and how you love this girl because she's an underachiever. There's another song about driving down the 101. There's a song about a girl overdosing at a party. So I would say that being in the moment, living life, women, pretty lighthearted stuff, yeah. But drugs they always seem to come in just because it's, I'm just being honest, I don't know why, but they always seem to inspire the craziest moments. So I'm not saying that I'm on drugs per se. God. No, but it's been a common theme in the Breaks music, The name Breaks kind of started off as, for broken people. I mean, there's a couple different things. So it started off as talking about breakers, waves, right? It's all coastal music. And then Breaks, it's like the Heartbreakers, Tom Petty, like love songs, heartbreak. That's like the most inspiring thing. And then it's also for broken people. So it's just tales of the street and, people on tough times and sort of lifting people up and normalizing people that are less fortunate. I don't know if that makes sense. But
I think a lot of the themes and stuff of the Breaks is like, it's it's become LA. Like, I think a lot of the stuff early on maybe wasn't as much, but the more we've lived here and all that kind of stuff, it's more like an LA vibe. Like, it's talking about the streets, it's talking about what you see in the clubs, what you see out, what people do, people's personalities, how this place is different from other places in the United States. I think it's kind of the entire vibe of LA. I mean, we're an LA band, that's kind of the main thing, and the theme of the songs kind of goes right along with that.
We're just kind of holding off on releasing an EP because we want to release something that just nails all the way through. It's something you listen to, so 5 to 8 songs that are just kick-ass. So no filler. That's the first thing. So that'll take us probably another 4 or 5 months. But yeah, we'd like to play festivals. Obviously tour and stuff. We're going to release a song, probably a song every couple months for the next few months. But we'd like to do some short tours in the near future. Europe would be awesome, but I don't think we're there quite yet. So it's just a matter of sort of planning and coming up with longer term plans too.
I mean, also, like, just being able to get into a different market besides the United States. Things have changed here. I think it's just more of a rock and roll market overseas, and, the outcome eventually is to be overseas and be able to bring this music to those people and those fans over there. I mean, the state of rock and roll, it's kind of like what Damien was saying earlier. It's kind of like in 20 years, it really hasn't changed. The name may have changed. It's indie rock now, but, it's still that kind of early 2000s hard rock mixed with good songwriting, good beats, heavy chorus lyrics, hooks, melody hooks, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, the real bare bones and what exists under the very bottom of it's all still the same, but the business has obviously changed. Even film and TV is different than it was 10 years ago. So I feel like it's kind of coming back. It's everybody's slowly getting their legs back, and and other markets are stronger than other ones. But I think LA is a great place to be making rock and roll.
I think all it takes is a couple of good bands, solid bands, Nirvana style bands. Yeah, there's a lot of bands that have the sound, right? They got the production, the money behind them. They just don't have the material though. So it's like, they only get so far. People are like, oh wow, they're cute, and God, their drums sound fat, but it's like, if they're not singing about anything, then people just aren't. There's no longevity to it. So, I think rock and roll will be around forever, and we've got some rock and roll. We've got a little bit of country. We got some post punk. It's like we're an amalgamation of different sounds because we're all different individuals. So
heavy metal.
Yeah. Cam, our guitar player, is really into like 80s and 90s stuff. I mean, we all are. I mean, we're all in different decades. But anyway, I guess that's what makes a band great is when everybody's got different influences and they come together in a weird way.
When I started playing with the guys, I mean, we're a California Fender band, like, California instruments, that's like the main thing. Like Fender has that classic California sound, like from all the way back to surf to like hard rock to, indie rock. Like, so I play a jazz bass, like plays a telly. I mean, most of those sounds are just like classic and iconic, and can't really beat them. They've made the best instruments already. They don't need to fucking mess with it anymore. It's like it's already been taken care of.
Yeah. So, Fender guitars. What's your bass? Your bass amp's Fender too, right? Yeah. Orange amps. I play a Crate tube amp. I don't usually admit that in public, but it's an amazing little rig. Yeah. As far as recording and stuff, I use an Apollo, Pro Tools. We basically go record somewhere and then we'll take it home and mix everything at home just to save money and to also just have time with it. Sometimes it's too much time, but we recorded this guy named Pat. I'm drawing a blank on his last name right now. Sorry, Pat. Anyway, shout out to Pat. Yeah, he worked at Pawn Shop Studios in Van Nuys, and so we recorded our first couple projects there. And now he's moved down to Hermosa Beach, and we just love old Patty. He's a G. Like he knows how to just get sounds up really quick, and he speaks our language. So
great engineer, great producer, does both of those things.
Really he's one of those guys that just always has good suggestions no matter what. So it can get awkward when you're collaborating with somebody and they suggest something, and you're constantly like, oh, like cringy. But he's always got really good ideas, so we'll stick with him, for the foreseeable future, most likely.